Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Soulstorm cast this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 1 vs 1 on Tranquility's End. Playing on the northern side as the Dark Eldar, we've got Yang Wen Li. And playing on the southern side as the Chaos Space Marines, we have got Dantis. Dantis will be going for a bajillion million cultists, a heretic, and a plasma generator. Whereas Yang Wen Li is going to go for a couple of mandrakes, a plasma generator, and a Dark Foundry. So a very standard opening for the Dark Eldar, but not necessarily a standard opening for the Chaos Space Marines. Now you would normally see cultists going into grenades, then into defilers, etc, etc, amen, as is standard, but no. Dantis has said, right, well, we're going to focus on the economy, and we're just basically going to occupy the map with as many filthy peasants as humanly possible. And you know what? I'm here for it. And I'm sure that the Drukhari are here for it as well. Plenty more people to grasp and, you know, take back to Camera and stuff. And are those hedgehogs? They might be hedgehogs. I don't know. No, they're shoes. They look like shoes to me. Okay, probably an obscure Russian or European meme that I'm not aware of. But then again, am I aware of the memes anymore? Are there any more fresh pepes? Are there any more dank keks to farm or something? I don't know. But the cultists are going onto the northern side. I'm going to contest this strategic point here, which the ones here and here are always the ones you tend to see being fought over, just because there's more neutral lands to really stand on. Fighting for stuff over here, there's lots of negative cover that you've got to contest with, but over here tends to be a little bit easier. Mandrakes, we're not expecting to hustle with the muscle of up to 9 cultists. And pound for pound, you do relatively the same kind of damage in melee combat. And when you're outnumbered by this amount, probably don't want to be messing with them. Also, problem is that if the mandrakes do run away, they're still going to be shot by the las pistols of the cultists. So it's a lose-lose situation for them in this scenario when they're outnumbered. Thankfully, the Hellions for Yang Wen Li are out and about, and they will be streaming their way forward and slicing and dicing, also out DPSing these guys in the range department as well. Swift and nimble, able to jump around and provide support wherever these cultists can be found. Also got the Reaver jet bikes, which are ideal for killing cultists swift and nimbly, and I imagine you're going to be going for, yeah, you'll be going for 3 or 4, maybe even 5. So realistically, if I mean, these guys are dead. They're dead in the water regardless of what happens, because the Hellions and the Reaver jet bikes will keep on top of them. Whether the mandrakes survive, though, that's a whole different kettle of fish. Can they survive? 53 health left. Run for the hills, young man. And running for the hills he does. The luckiest mandrake known to man. Yeah, so these guys die. What's the plan then? Minefield. I mean, you've got an upgrade listening post around here defending these 2 plasma generators. I've got another... is it just a case of upgrade all your listening posts and then move your cultists around? They do the vast majority of the damage and you just live, survive. Reaver jet bikes don't take too kindly to being assaulted by the weaponry that you will find on a listening post. They also don't do much damage to buildings at all, so maybe using structures to keep themselves alive is fine. And I mean, building up an army of cultists, reinforcing them at 20 blue is quite cheap. There goes the minefield. There's a fair bit of damage to one of them, but they now know it's there. No matter which side of the base they go on, they will be shot by listening posts. Chaos army on the way. So maybe now, I mean, what kind of economy you got going on for you? Plenty of green money. Now you're taking up? No, you're not taking up just yet. Plenty of green. Good heavens. That's a sizable firing line, even though it is all just las pistols. But when those grenades come online, that's going to be a hell of a lot of damage being brought forward to the Reaver jet bikes. Hellions jump in and see what they can do, but trying to attack one squad while the other squads will just stand still and maneuver around. Listening posts doing the damage that it can. And yeah, just by sheer weight of numbers. I mean, even heavy cavalry will struggle to charge into a infantry formation when it's all packed together tight and several rows deep. Which is why I was never a big fan of the Siege of Winterfell when the, whatever you call it, the horse people decided to charge into the zombies. So what are you doing, man? Tight infantry formation, light cavalry, what are you doing? Literally screaming out the screen at the time. Although we don't talk about that episode. Or that season. Dreadful things. Either way, things are happening. Listing post over here has been beaten up. Cultists are now getting their grenade launchers online. We are going to watch the majority of this game from the perspective of the Dark Eldar, just because of the voice acting of these guys. I will not tolerate it. Not on this channel. Not until they're wiped out to a man. But yeah, the Dark Eldar, they know what's going on, and they're not going to mess with it. I mean, Lord of Mercy, just look at the numbers. It's a pure numbers game here. Just a wonderful combination of purple and green as well. Mean-looking men, but the campest voices you've ever did heard. Not them against camp voices, it's just way too many of them. Either way, heavy bolter over here. And yes, so what Dantis have done is basically put all his important structures within range of these defensive bits and bobs. So if the Drukhari trying to come in, do some mischief, well, they've got these guys to contend with, as well as, like, what are you going to go for? Is it just one grenade launcher on each of you? One or two, not going to go for the full three just yet. Upgrade listing post and the heavy bolter. Yeah, you see, it's just Dark Eldar are not built for doing damage to buildings. They will really struggle to assault a base once it's properly defended. It doesn't have control over all three critical locations, I imagine. So that will require the Chaos Space Marines to do some decapping and such. I've got the Reaver targeting module. They've been cancelled before then being rebuilt. Got the fleet going on here. So these guys, if the cultists move out, this fleet of Reaver jetbikes will kill these guys remarkably quickly when that targeting module goes online. But what are Chaos going to do in response? They are now in tier 2. And, yep, machine pit. Defilers, or, I suppose, in this context, if there's a million Reaver jetbacks to take on, maybe a Hell Talon or two. Just for their anti-vehicle nature. Gonna go for a second Dark Foundry, so I assume you're just planning to pump these out all day long. No Hall of Blood required at the moment. But yeah, Yang Wen Lee, stuck in a bit of a bind. He can't attack. And, well, there's nothing to defend. Tricky situation indeed. The Lonely Mandrake who survived earlier on, still alive. Now moving in. Targeting module has been finished. Will allow them to, en masse, be able to take down a lone listening post. And they will fandangle it. And then Reaver Jetbike gets the decap in there. Very nice stuff. So the current economies are 110 and 40 compared to 92 and 50. I've gone stealthy on all these cultists there. Oh no, we'll have to watch it from the perspective of the Chaos Space Marines now so we can see what their troops are up to. Not the end of the world though. The Dark Eldar do have access to the Piercing Vision global ability, which will allow one of their squads to be able to spy and spot infiltrated units. Got the Raider being built in anticipation to be able to follow the Hell Talon around. With its Dark Lance, it should do significant amount of damage to the Hell Talon. As they're moving forward, the cultists have been broken up. Not a mass anymore. They have to go towards the critical locations, and dear oh dear, the mass falls pretty quickly. Just goes to show that numbers aren't everything. Reavers coming in to try and snipe down. In fact, triple Reavers, good lord. Breaking down the Hell Talon. Cultists still invisible. The Piercing Vision has been worn off now. And not all the Reavers could get out of there in the nick of time. But not a serious amount of anti-vehicle stuff will allow these Raiders to run around unmolested. That being said, the Hell Talons themselves are also anti-vehicle. And breaking down one Raider. Even though Raiders are significantly more durable than the Reaver jetbikes, Dark Eldar vehicles aren't they're just not built for taking damage. The flying pirate ships, built for hit and run. One Helltalon goes down. Another Raider goes down as well, just trading vehicles at this point. Only 3 Reaver jet bikes left, but that's more than enough to kill the remaining dudes. Oh, it's a singular Mandra that's got the piercing vision. That's a bit risky, but he's fulfilling a role, doing a job. Helltalon's still contesting the centre, and the cultist game is still being played strong here. Dantis keen to keep the squabbling filth of chaos out and about, much to the shock and chagrin of my ears. But is thinking about going into the base, but then getting killed before able to do anything. The Reavers over here unable to really do much against the cultists. May need a homunculi, and there he is, going to use his peepers to see what he can see. Cultists over here ripped apart, but will maybe potentially take down one Reaver jet bike before they go. Maybe. Ah, 13 health by the skin of his unmentionables. A Reaver jet bike lives. Raider standing firm, trying to defend this Tower of Loathing. A Yang Wenli has cheekily popped up on the Chaos side. But yeah, without vision, these guys are shooting in the dark, as it were. And one thing that some players will do when they've got a load of infiltrated enemies to fire at, will get maybe some sort of artillery or some sort of weapon that can attack the ground. That still does damage to infiltrated units, but I don't think, off the top of my head, that the Dark Eldar have access to any of that kind of weapon. So there, that's an issue for them. Helltalon's being the leading force in defending against all this weaponry. Homunculi sitting on the back lines, spying and spotting. That's another cultist squad gone down. And Force of Chaos might have to start switching up their tactics now. They've now got a Defiler on the way out. Defilers with their artillery will do a bit of damage to the Reaver jet bikes. Oh, it's just a massacre. Helltalon's trying to keep up with the Reaver jet bikes. Too swift and too nimble. There's always more cultists where they came from, and plenty of economy to replace them. Raiders caught in a bit of a pathing issue. Dear oh dear. Homunculus also caught a bit out in the open. The Reavers killing them as best they can, but they're being replaced infinitely swifter than the Dark Eldar can get rid of them. I've got more Raiders out. And the Raiders just aren't sticking up to the challenge against the Helltalons. I mean, you'd think that maybe potentially Scourges would be the idea now, but they are quite expensive and also very fragile in their own right. Dantis also breaking all the rules by just building up infinity turrets, which is not what I would normally recommend, but I mean, as we say, the jet bikes do struggle up against buildings, so by bringing forth turrets, it does reduce their maneuverability somewhat and their ability to traverse the map.
We can serve you.
More Raiders for the fire. But it's only got one Dark Lance, you've got to bear that in mind. Unlike the Defiler that's got flamers, auto cannons, big boomy bit in the middle of its chest, and also slapping claws. And these guys have got the bare minimum. Here comes a Witch Squad there. And they're doing things. Although I'm not sure what exactly they're trying to achieve right here. Yeah, okay, with your combat stimulants, you are going to be doing a little bit of damage to the Helltalon, but surrounded by cultist defiles and hell talons. There's only so much a scantily clad woman can do. But they're doing it, gosh darn it. I don't know how. I don't know why, but they are. They've been joined by the homunculus as well. So we're going to go for some more? Question mark? No, you're not. More Reaver jet bikes. 2 lonely cultists coming forward. Cultists on the left side, focusing on the Tower of Loathing. Good lord. An absolute scrum in the centre going on. Now it might be Yang Wenli's idea to mass up maybe a squad or 2 of witches and basically blitz in with their combat stimulants, get the cultists down, allows the raiders to then focus on the Hell Talons. I mean, that's what the Reaver jetbikes were doing, weren't they? The Reaver jetbikes were killing the cultists and the raiders were trying to fandangle the Hell Talons, but that has not been working out for them. Current economies 133 and 79 compared to 121 and 79. Planetary Strike add-on number 3. Here are the horror squads as well. So we will go back to Chaos so we can see all the cultists, which will be the primary target for the witches. Seems like the Reavers are trying to focus down the Defiler, which are actually doing a lot more damage than I would anticipate with support from that raider. Turn their attention to the cultists. Horror squads killed quickly. But there are still 2 left over. And we've also got some cultists over here putting a bit of pressure on the right hand side. Yeah, what a unit composition from Dantis. Dark Eldar, not much to really gain or get from this. I mean, do you have Scourge money? I don't think you do. No, you're going into tier 3, which means Ravagers. That would be my assumption is what Yang Wenli is going for. If the Raiders won't do it, then the Ravagers will. Maybe even, dare I say, possibly a Talos. Is Yang Wenli mad enough? Is he bad enough? Has he been sipping the crazy juice? There's only one way to find out. There's a raider. Another raider. And... alright, it's because he's not researched yet. Fair enough. Hold your breath, boys and girls. There might be an opportunity here. It's done. What are you building? More Reaver jetbacks. Okay, alright, fair enough. He's going for more. The raiders are everywhere. They've been surrounded by horrors, which are just stupidly good anti-vehicle units. Hard to go pure AV against the Force of Chaos. But mind you, that being said, one horror squad is about to go down. Yeah, you see, unlike other anti-vehicle squads from other factions that need to be bought, they then need to have their weapon upgrades. They also need to have a squad cap increases and such to get from like 4 models to like 6 or whatever. Horrors just come out, all with the equipment that they need, maximum squad size. They also have a deep striking capability as well. Bish bash bosh, you're done. No need for additional mischief. And a Raven. Well, pardon me if I break out into the That's So Raven theme from, was it Nickelodeon or was it from the Disney Channel? I can't remember. But, War Beasts, they come out. Huge damage. They come in, munch their way through Defilers. If they keep the morale. The Obliterators are out now. It's going to be a real uphill battle now. Chaos have got to their endgame state. Even with a Raven flying on high to do damage to the cultists are now no longer the main problem. It is going to be the Obliterator possessed Wombo combo. They've also got that Chaos Sorcerer in there as well. So if any witches get too close, to get chained down to the ground, which I'm sure they won't mind initially, but then when the possessed come in with their spaghetti hands, which I suppose, again, the witches might not mind initially, but will ultimately end with their deaths. War beasts focusing down the obliterators now. They are actually getting a fair few dead. Not doing a terrible job, actually. War beasts over here being chained to the ground. It seems that the double war beasts are dead, but so too are a fair few defilers. Oh no, sorry, the war beasts over here are still alive. They live, and live some more. And they can't seem to be fast enough to get away from these cheeky war beasts, which is slicing down the horrors. It might actually be the fact that the Dark Eldar pull this off and somehow get back on top of it, despite the quadruple defilers breaking them down, which is down to a number of 3. And Yang Wen Li throws out the Novembers all day long, and it's just, oh my goodness. It could have been it. That could have been the moment with the witches and the warp beasts and such coming on in, maybe getting all the horrors and the obliterators down, allowing the raiders and such to give some space to break down these defilers. But no, it just wasn't it. The cultists being en masse, going around being an absolute nuisance and mischief, combined with those hell talons, and then transitioning over to a mass of defilers was just too much for the Dark Eldar to deal with. But still, absolutely phenomenal plays from both players here, so fantastic all around. So, cheers boys and girls for watching at home, and if you want to support the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you once a game a week, and there is also a Discord where Discord things happen. Link in the description as always. My name's Mr. Landshark, pleasure's always never short, and I will see you in a bit. Peace.